All right, guys, this is the one I was hinting at in some of the comments recently. This is a really nice, all original 88 or 87 740 turbo. Really low mileage car. I think it has 67,000 on it and just in amazing condition. Unfortunately, it was hit while parked, so this fender you can see doesn't quite match. But other than that, this thing is all original and just really nice shape. And you can just tell when you look at that, everything just looks the closest to factory probably you'll ever see working on one of these cars. It's in for a few different repairs. It's got a leak from the water pump, from that top seal. The front cam seals are leaking. They're probably original, so it's not too surprising. I already replaced the battery cable as well as the alternator ground, and not the alternator to starter wire on this one. This cable was getting hot on the infrared, so was that one. Maybe I can splice in some pictures of that. Also needs to have the throttle adjusted. You can always tell when this spool here actually contacts that point. Most people think that's the stop point. It's actually, I mean, I guess it's there maybe as a, I'm not exactly sure why it's there, to be honest with you, but it should end up like that. It should not actually contact. When it contacts that, that's when you know your throttle is out of adjustments. We're going to take care of that. See if there's any oil in the intake or in the intercooler piping. When we get the throttle body off, I'll show you guys the correct way to adjust those throttle bodies, and it's not hard. There's just a couple things you need to pay attention to. And what else do we have on this? We have a really annoying chattering, clunking noise from the brakes, and that is because they no longer make the correct pad for this, the early Girling. There's two different versions, a D508 and a D1198. The 1198s they don't make anymore. The 508s, they fit, but there's a little bit of play. So we're gonna try something to fix that. We are also going to do a transmission flush, replace shifter bushing, which I think I've already done. We are going to flush this power steering fluid, which was a little cloudy. There is some binding or excessive force needed to go from lock to lock. I didn't realize this car is lowered. That might make it a little more difficult. And I can't remember for proper caster if these mounts should be this way or that way. I think this is the way for the most caster, and more caster is going to improve that steering wheel returning to center feeling. So that shouldn't be an issue. So we're going to do all that. A couple other things I've forgotten. Oh yeah, the radiator hoses when we do the water pump. When they start to get swollen like this around the clamps, that's a good indication that it is time to replace the hoses. So we're going to do upper, lower, as well as the reservoir hose, because you can see we have a little leak there. We're going to do all those. We are also, at some point, we're going to either replace this turbo or rebuild it. I got to get that intake hose off and just check the shaft for play. It whistles, not like in a nice turbo whistle kind of way, in like a sort of worn out kind of way. So we're going to investigate that as well, and a few other things. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really satisfying little vlog for this car. This is my friend Chaz's car. He's got a couple old Volvos, and he always brings them to me, and I'm really grateful for that. He always brings me something cool, and he's just a great customer and a great guy. So looking forward to spending a little more time working on his 740 turbo. Okay, we got that power steering fluid flushed. I haven't really test driven the car to see if the steering feels any different. I have a feeling it may not, but that's just that first step we have to do. It would be so silly to do anything more and then, you know, let's say we ended up replacing the steering rack and we hadn't first flushed the fluid and made sure we had good fluid in there. That's always your first step. So more on that later. Just got the throttle body off, and you can see there is some oil in the intake. I can't say I've really paid enough attention to enough of these. It's not that often that I'm doing this job on a turbo car where I've really seen how much oil is in the intake, so I'm not sure if that's normal or not. What I am gonna do is, because I do see this oil saturation down here, this idle hose coming up, more oil saturation here, and I wiped it away, but we did have a decent amount of oil and sort of carbon buildup debris in that hose. I want to see how our PCV system is looking. That's one thing I overlooked when I was creating an estimate for this car. Well, we had a few items we already wanted to address. There wasn't a lot of diagnosing. It was more, hey, can you do this? And while I had the car here, I just noticed a few quick things, obviously, like these radiator hoses. And when I went and touched the battery cable, it was burning hot. So we didn't really do a really thorough inspection. That was not our intention. So we did find this potentially excess oil in the intake system. We'll test the PCV before we leave today. Anyway, here's the throttle, and you can see there was a decent amount of oil in there too, decent amount of carbon buildup. So we are going to clean that. That is not a genuine throttle position sensor, which is strange for such a low mileage car. That's also maybe why it was not adjusted correctly. Anyway, we're going to get this all adjusted. It may be a little different on these earlier cars that have this idle valve, I guess we can call it. Not really an idle valve, but this screw to adjust the idle speed. It's a little different on those, but the principles are still going to apply. We'll get that adjusted and I'll walk you through my steps. Well, the first step is to clean it thoroughly, which I've done as best as I can. And the next step would be to adjust it, but I was wrong. This thing is actually perfectly adjusted. What you want is you want to loosen these two bolts and shift that throttle position sensor clockwise. And you want to find when this throttle just begins to open and adjust it so that you hear your sensor click right as it opens. And I didn't actually have to touch anything, including this idle set screw. So we are good to go. What that means is that we are going to need to shorten this linkage, or we may need to adjust the cable. And I'm not really going to be sure until, I think we're just going to get away with just adjusting the cable, but kind of need to get everything back together, put my thinking cap back on, because right now I'm sort of drawing a blank on exactly what my process is. It's been a little while since I've done this. I have done quite a few of them. I have had them really make a difference in how the car runs, especially if it's a K-Jet car. Doing this adjustment, you would not believe how much of a difference it can make. So let me get everything back together with that new gasket, and let's see how. Well, here's another one I missed. We have a hissing from the climate control unit. I think it may be a leak internal to the unit, but here is our signal to the climate control. And you can see there, that's definitely open, so that's a nice vacuum leak. See that vacuum leak? That vacuum hose goes into the cabin, so we'll definitely replace that while we're here. And who knows, maybe that's part of the hissing noise we're hearing. I kind of doubt it. I think it's the actual control unit itself, but obviously we'll replace that while we're here. So because the throttle is adjusted correctly, I don't really want to touch anything that's going to adjust where the blade is. I really want all of this to stay the same. So what I just did was just backed out our throttle cable a little bit. So we just have that small gap there. That's what we want. And now when I install the linkage from here to here, I'll need to open it up a little bit so it's the correct length, and then we will have the throttle cable will be correctly adjusted. In this case, it was not an issue with the throttle unit itself, which is actually never happened to me. That thing has always been out of adjustment when I see that is touching there. So let's take care of that. So I did connect our vacuum meter here. This is very sensitive vacuum meter, essentially a manometer. What we want to see is the needle to be in this area, or even in that area, but at least there. And it's above 0, so we have crankcase pressure. We did have really good vacuum at the oil cap. I don't know if you can hear that, but when I put my hand over it, it was sucking my hand in. So we have vacuum in the top of the cylinder head, but not in the oil pan area, which is obviously where the dipstick tube goes down to. What that likely means is that we are getting too much crankcase pressure in the lower part of the engine, in the oil pan area, in the area where the crankshaft is. I'm sort of drawing a blank now of the correct terminology, but anyway, there is a drain tube that goes from the oil separator box, or the breather box, oil trap, whatever you want to call it, down to that lower engine area. And when that hose is cracked, it can expose that lower part of the engine to excess crankcase pressure. So that's probably why we see this. And you can imagine when we get into boost, that number is just going to climb. So unfortunately, the only solution for this issue, most likely, is to replace that pickup tube. And unfortunately, that means taking the oil pan off. Because to get that hose or tube to route correctly, there's a little bracket on the oil pump that you may have seen in my oil pan replacement video. Well, it was missing in that video, but you can see where it should have been. If we do end up doing it on this car, I'll show you guys. So this is not really like an emergency, but it is something obviously at some point we're going to want to take care of that. Just finished up the transmission flush. As you saw, I use 3 gallons when I flush. If the fluid is really dirty and dark or burned from the start, I might do 4 or 5. But in this car, actually, honestly, the fluid looked okay. This is more of just a maintenance item. You know, replace the transmission fluid once in a while. So if you saw at the end there, I overfilled it. I couldn't remember if from the point where the hose starts to sputter, and that's the pump starting to lose, there not being enough fluid in the transmission for the pump to continue pumping fluid. I couldn't remember from that point if you add 3 or 4 quarts to get close to the approximately the correct level, and it must have been 3 because I put 4 and I took about 1 liter out, and now we're right at the top of the dipstick. And we are at the top of the hot mark, even though the engine is cold. I've been told for the AW70, better to have a little more capacity, especially if it does have that oil cooler built in, the transmission oil cooler. Better to have a little extra. So that's how I do it. So we got that finished up, and we're going to move on now. I did forget to mention that one of the things, actually no, I'm sorry, I did mention we're going to try to rebuild this turbo. Well, rebuild or replace, not sure yet. And we got to let Chaz know about this blow-by we found. And anyway, let's move on to our next repair. We're going to leave it there. I'm running out of time. My camera is running out of, my phone is running out of charge. I don't have an extension cord to keep it charging while I film. So what we've done is we've gotten the old pump out, we cleaned it up, installed new seals. In this case, we did not want to replace it, just reseal it. We got in our new lower radiator hose, our expansion tank hose. We're gonna get that upper hose in. Underestimated that job a little bit. It's not really too difficult. It's just a little finicky getting everything lined up. I forgot. Compared to a non-turbo, all this stuff in the way just adds more time. The last one I did on was my old 244, and that upper and lower rad hose pretty much just slip out. So anyway, that's all done. I'm gonna leave this all open probably because I'm gonna be doing cam seals next, so no need to put that cover back on. Probably I can do that. I may have to put it back together to drive the car. So that'll probably be it for today. I'm gonna start cleaning up a little bit, see if there's any more last minute items I can take care of. Otherwise, that'll be it for this weekend.